In this video, I will read from the MIT Technology Review magazine, The Greatest Acceleration, CIO Perspectives on Generative AI. Going to go to page 16. Workforce worries. From the telephone to the desktop computer, every leap in everyday technology sparks worries about unemployment and threats to human craft and skill. But generative AI appears to mark a new phase, given the unprecedented range of tasks that can now feasibly be automated. Uniquely, some of the most automation vulnerable sectors today are in high-end, technical, and creative fields. An Accenture analysis determined that 40% of working hours across industries could be automated or augmented by generative AI, with banking, insurance, capital markets, and software showing the highest potential. McKinsey projects that generative AI and related technologies could automate activities that currently take up to 60 to 70% of worker time, up from 50% before the advent of generative AI. Goldman Sachs predicts that two-thirds of US occupations will be affected by AI-powered automation, but does not expect this to lead to widespread job loss. Most jobs and industries, the firm says, are only partially exposed to automation and are thus more likely to be complemented rather than substituted by AI. It goes on to note that technology-related job losses tend to be balanced and exceeded by technology-related job growth. More than 85% of employment growth over the last 80 years is explained by the technology-driven creation of new positions. The authors write. The CIOs and academics interviewed for this report offer an optimistic view on generative AI's effects for enterprises and society at large. They believe AI could help sectors like healthcare, where the workforce is stretched, and that human experts will remain essential. People are worried that they will lose their jobs because of AI, but that is not the primary concern in healthcare, says Schaefer. The technologies that we are putting in place are enabling technicians to be a part of the development of AI. And because of the level of validation involved, I think there will be more trust in the models that we develop. Humans are still necessary to annotate, curate, expose models to data sets, and provision for responsible AI. We've got a way to go where we can unleash AI to do our research because there is so much hand-holding that happens at the moment, adds O'Connell. Generative AI will also empower by democratizing access to technical capabilities once confined to a slice of the workforce. Companies are already taking steps to encourage engagement. We have created communities of practitioners internally who do not necessarily have mainstream IT backgrounds, says Blyton. We want to empower our business users to craft their own dashboards and drive their own insights from data. In fact, this type of data democratization was already a top way that companies were generating tangible benefits from AI in 2022, according to our survey. See Figure 6. Figure 6. Most instrumental investment areas for data and AI. When asked which investments have been instrumental to creating benefits from AI and machine learning, business leaders are most likely to say democratizing data access and building business intelligence infrastructure have already paid off. Percentage of respondents who ranked each option among their top 3 investments. Democratizing data, internal, external data sharing, 32%. Business intelligence, analytics infrastructure, and tools, 32%. Data governance and management, 29%. Machine learning infrastructure, 29%. Talent and skills development, 26%. Improving data quality, 24%. Data acquisition, 24%. Unified data infrastructure, 24%. Open source standards and formats, 22%. Process reengineering, 20%. Cloud migration, 19%. Acquisition of AI startups, 19%. Blyton also predicts that ideas for AI will start coming from the workforce, marking the start of a more self-service and entrepreneurial era within organizations. According to O'Connell, business unit leaders aware of AI, thanks to the blizzard of coverage over recent months, are already creating a demand pool for AI applications, rather than technology teams having to sell AI ideas to the organization. Over the last decade, software programming has been among the most sought after, highly paid roles in business. Yet, this is one domain where generative AI tools are demonstrating utility, prompting concerns. CIOs and technical leads interviewed for this report offer a more optimistic view. They expect rising demand for specialties such as operational efficiency and responsible AI. And they believe programmers will shift their attention to higher value and less tedious work. Blyton asks, do I need someone to be laboriously typing 6 hours worth of code into an engine and trying to debug it for 3 days? I can see some huge efficiency by not doing that. Some expect programmers shift to chaperoning raw initial ideas into more mature and business-ready outputs. It's not hard to imagine that in the near future, you could use the English language to generate code, predicts Blyton. In a year or so, my workflow could involve business users doing parts of the analysis in English language. And then I take the output code and incorporate it into something more robust. Stoddard says AI is accelerating a trend already underway. You need people who understand math and science to work with the models. And you need people who have deep analytic ways of thinking. In my area, the roles have been migrating towards analytics, working with models, understanding deviations, and coding. CIOs largely frame AI as a co-pilot rather than a rival to human employees. Saharia predicts that LLMs will allow executives to acquire high-quality data for decisions, saving time otherwise spent by analysts responding to their on-demand report requests. But he adds, I don't think they will be able to do extremely complicated work that requires a lot of planning fully automatically. I don't think there's anyone whose job is just the super simple stuff that can be done by a language model. Stoddard concurs. Generative AI lets creators at all levels use their own words to generate content, she says. But I don't think it will ever replace humans. Instead, it's going to be an assistant to humans. She adds, we internally view AI and machine learning as being a helper, truly helping our people, and then allowing them to spend more time on other value-added activities. At Adobe, a change management process was necessary to win over the workforce, says Stoddard. Back when we started this, I would say people were skeptical. But when they saw that they were truly able to spend more time on value added, and in some cases, their jobs were upskilled, people became believers. And they still are believers. The democratization of access to technical tools could be society-wide. All these people who couldn't program or manipulate design software, what are the new opportunities for them? As Carbon. This is going to lower the barrier for people accessing technology and programming or manipulating software. Now you have this natural language interface for design software, allowing you to navigate what was otherwise an extremely difficult tool used only by the best creative professionals. Risk aversion and cultural factors like fear of failure also need to be addressed to drive AI adoption in the workforce. Sometimes those who have been in or have managed organizations in Japan for a very long time and who are used to a certain style don't welcome risk-taking as much as the newer members of the business and commercial realm who constantly offer unique ideas and are eager for change, says Noriko Zonka, Chief Digital Officer, Cosmo Energy Holdings. As a business, it may take a longer time to adapt to and use new initiatives, but we are fortunate in the fact that improvement is something the Japanese are very good at. As we adjust to using AI in business, I am certain we will see great improvement and change to the way businesses in Japan operate. I believe there is huge potential in AI for Japan. Zonka says that organizations will have to embrace data and AI if they are to thrive. In the next 5 to 10 years, we will see how quickly we can adapt, and companies that fail to adapt, no matter how big, are going to disappear. Hmm.